Why was the season finale of The Boys so disappointing to so many people? Why was it so divisive, and why were people so unhappy with it? So after watching the finale of The Boys, I thought it was fine. I didn't think too much about it, and people online were ranting about it. They were hating it. They were so disappointed, and I wanted to know why that was. And the more I looked into it, I understood that it was less about how good or bad the finale was, and it was more about how disappointed people were because they were promised one thing and given another thing. So this video is about how marketing, if used in a misleading way, can cause a lot of disappointment and can end up actually hurting you more than helping you. While their marketing might have helped them sell an idea that made people want to watch the show more, because this false idea was in people's head, it made them that much more disappointed when it didn't meet these expectations that Amazon themselves had set. So for months, Prime Video promoted The Boys finale and the final season as being this post-apocalyptic, very destructive, large-scale season that had never been attempted before. So an example of this is they have a poster of Homelander hovering over a burning Earth, and he's looking down on it like a god. And it does imply that there is devastation at a planetary scale. So before you were dealing with things in a city, and now it's showing a whole planet destroyed, in flames. Another poster showed Vought Tower completely destroyed and in ruins, which again implies some huge battle happens in Vought Tower. And in the previous seasons, there have been battles in Vought Tower as well that have been smaller scale. So your expectation is something bigger than this is going to happen, and it's going to destroy the whole building. Another poster showed the White House completely surrounded by superhumans, and it's, oppressive and a bit scary, as if they've just taken over the whole world and they're now completely controlling everything. What this implies is, in previous seasons, while these superhumans were hiding how evil they were, now they're very openly showing their power in front of everyone and controlling people and instilling fear into them, which they haven't done before in the show. The problem is, none of these things happened in the show. None of these things happened in any of the episodes. In fact, when the second last episode came out, people were, coming up with theories online on how all of these things are going to be incorporated in the final episode. Instead of a scorched earth finale, what happened was they had a fight in a room, and that's it. And it might have been smaller scale than some of the other fights that were in the show. So that seems to have made people very unhappy. Even people that liked the show admitted that it was smaller scale than they expected. Because instead of a scorched earth finale, what happened was, people were having conversations, they were having very small scale fights, there was a lot of one-on-one interactions, and dialogue heavy than action heavy. Which is fine, but not when you promise the complete opposite thing for months on end. And this mismatch between promise and payoff is why people were so divided when they watched this. I think a lot of fans would have accepted a smaller, more emotional, intimate ending if that's what they thought was going to happen. But because they were shown a completely different thing, they were that much more disappointed. That's why so many reactions point out that this is false advertising instead of just saying that they were disappointed with the episode. The marketing campaign framed this whole season as really apocalyptic. I'm sure because they knew that they would be able to get more viewers that way, because they were waiting to see this big finale. But the side effect of false advertising is that people compare to their newly built expectations. Ironically, the showrunner admitted that they weren't interested in a scorched earth finale, which doesn't really make too much sense when all the marketing points to it being that kind of finale and multiple seasons setting up the same thing. So the lesson here is, don't use misleading advertising. If it was a product where certain features were promised and it didn't have those features, people would rightfully be disappointed. So in the case of a show, you can't really promise scenes and events and scale that isn't there and expect people to be happy about it. Comment down below if you agree with what I said, if you have some other points about this, and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos.